Wizards of the Coast has recently released the Practically Complete Guide to Dragons, a 128-page hardbound book written by Susan J. Morris, Lisa Trumbauer, and James Wyatt. All three are experienced writers. Lisa Trumbauer has written fantasy books for children such as A Practical Guide to Dragons, A Practical Guide to Dragon Riding, and a Dungeons & Dragons novel called Hidden Dragon. Susan J. Morris has edited Forgotten Realms stories and is an author herself. She wrote A Practical Guide to Dragon Magic and A Practical Guide to Fairies. James Wyatt's work is the only one of the three I've read. His Draconomicon for 3rd edition Dungeons & Dragons is one of my personal favorite books about dragons, and most recently he was involved with Fizban's Treasury of Dragons for 5th edition D&D, which is still one of my favorite books to come from that edition. Special thanks to Wizards of the Coast for sending me this book for the review. So if Wizards of the Coast has already made a Dragon source book for its current edition, what is this book for exactly? Well, it isn't a gaming source book. There are no rules whatsoever that ties this to any edition of Dungeons & Dragons. No stats, no player options. There are some minor art of the Dragon's layers, but nothing as expansive for gaming like in Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. This book is an introductory guide of the dragons that already exist in Dungeons & Dragons lore, through the eyes of a Kender. For those of you who don't know, Kenders are sort of like halflings, with an insatiable curiosity and unable to keep their hands in their pockets. And Kenders, being that they have a childlike personality and a sense of humor to match, is the perfect narrator for a book like this. This book leans slightly to Dragonlance lore, but it is meant more to be a general guide to dragon lore in Dungeons & Dragons. And this narrator, a Kender wizard named Sindri Suncatcher, first discusses about the culture, traits, and habits of dragons, such as communication, the types of magics that they use, what is a horde, how the layers of dragons affect the environment, some general observations about their anatomy, and so on. She then discusses the 5 chromatic and the 5 metallic dragons in Dungeons & Dragons lore, as well as Tiamat, Paladine, other dragonkind, and towards the end of the book, there are brief discussions like riding a dragon and heroes that use dragon magic. In the chromatic and metallic dragon sections, I do like that there was space given to talk about each type of dragons individually and how variant species of dragon are different from one another. Again, this is made for a younger audience. It's a very easy read and enjoyable. The writers do a good job in keeping the voice and perspective of the narrator throughout the book. So despite that this isn't a gaming source book, and longtime players won't learn anything new from the lore presented here, this is still a gorgeous book. I love the art and its hand-drawn style, the cover is A+, and the design team did a wonderful job with layout, fonts, and color. I love dragons, so I'm happy to have this in my collection. I don't see this book being a hit with most longtime gamers, unless they love all things dragons, or love to collect books that have great artwork. But I think younger players will enjoy this book, and this book makes a great gift for younger readers. This book is now available for purchase in your local gaming store and bookstore. Thank you for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to Really Dicey, and we'll see you next time.